Bom dia, pessoal. Sou Dario da Dafratec. Estamos aqui com a visita ilustre do Daniele Serra da Bioengineering da Suíça. A Bioengineering é um fabricante de bioreatores para bancada, piloto e processo. Estamos aqui também com o Henri Berghs, que é da Fairport, nosso parceiro de longa data. Conheço o Henri já faz muito tempo, desde que eu era um garoto. Foi a pessoa que me ajudou muito e me trouxe aqui com o negócio, e grande parte aqui do que a Dafratec é hoje também devemos a ele. E hoje a gente vai conversar um pouquinho com o Daniele. O Daniele, ele é o Gerente Internacional de Vendas da Bioengineering. So, Daniele, thank you very much to be here. It's a pleasure to have you here. We thank you very much for all your support. So we want to learn a little bit about you and bioengineering, to share all of this with our followers. So Daniele, could you please briefly introduce yourself and tell us about your professional journey?
Sure. Thank you, Dario, first of all, for the introduction. My name is Daniele Serra. I work at Bioengineering in Switzerland. So we are based in Wald. It's a small village in the canton of Zurich, and we produce bioreactors.
Great. And how did you become part of bioengineering?
So I became part of bioengineering around 2 years ago. So I'm still a freshman. Started here as a commercial sales manager with regional focus. Although the sales region is quite large, so my area would be Eastern, Western, and South Europe, plus Latin America, and with that also the Brazilian market.
Great. And over the years, what changes have impressed you the most in the biotech industry?
So if you say within the years, at Bioengineering it's only been 2 years for me, but let's say 2 years ago we saw lots of requests from the novel food market, so the food industry, let's say, where customers do precision fermentation, or they produce lab meat, in vitro meat, and this I think those requests decreased. So I think those companies are having issues to finance those projects. So we are mostly focusing on pharma projects. Those are our favorite customers because
great.
The budget is there.
And now to learn a little bit about bioengineering, for those who may not know the company yet, how would you describe bioengineering?
So as I mentioned before, we have our big focus on the bioreactors and fermenters. At Bioengineering, we differentiate the two just by its, let's say, vessel geometry. A bioreactor for us is a 2-to-1 ratio, and a fermenter has a ratio of 3-to-1. In a bioreactor, we do cell cultivation. In a fermenter, we do microbial cultivation. And the question was, how would I describe bioengineering? Yeah. So we exist since over 50 years, actually, since 1972. So there's a long history and lots of experience in the different industries. As I said, the focus is for us is mostly biopharma. If you look a little bit back historically, we had our focus on the Asian market, and now we want to shift this focus to the European, American, and South American market. And there is also some news. So last year on the 10th of September, we got procured by Morimatsu Group. So this is a Japanese company with its headquarters in Gifu, but they have most of their production facilities in China. So there are 5 production facilities in China. There is one in Malaysia, one in Thailand, and since last year, since they have Bioengineering, they have 2 additional production facilities which are from Bioengineering.
And bioengineering is recognized worldwide in the field of bioprocessing. Also here in Brazil, we have several customers like Cristália, Fiocruz, Butantan, and other universities around Brazil. What do you believe differentiates the companies from bioengineering from the competitors?
Yeah, it's a very good and tricky question. But I think the main benefit is our experience. So we are focused on manufacturing of bioreactors since many, many years. The second argument I would say is the flexibility. So we do not only have standardized products that are all the same. So we do a lot of customizations, especially in the range of lab pilot to pilot scale. What I mean with that is, let's say, 20 liter working volume to 1,000. We even have a very special production strategy in this scale. We can do freestyle production, meaning that we deliver a layout, which is a 2D layout. We don't require 3D layout or isometrics. We have very experienced piping and welding workers who do it with their eyes, just with their knowledge. They produce those equipments. And the benefit is that we can ship it much more faster. We can produce it much more faster.
And now the new software also that is coming soon.
Yeah, so we have a new software actually already since last year. It's called Bioscada 2. Let's say for the lab products, we were still using the old software, but starting on the 30th of June, we will have a product launch for the new product line for the lab to pilot scale. And this line will come with the new software, with the Bioscada 2 software. So yeah, customers who are working with the commercial plant, they already know the software and they're quite happy. It's very user-friendly and it's very easy to create recipes.
Okay, now talk a little bit about the Brazilian market in Latin America, and how does bioengineering view the Brazilian market today?
So that's a good question. Maybe we can give the word to Henri, first of all.
I would say it's a very complicated question to answer because, of course, Brazilian economy is not really booming, so bioreactors are very expensive equipment. So I would say we have some very tough years ahead, but at the same time, as Daniel already said, you have now new product line coming on, new software, and there are a few market segments that are showing signs that they really need instruments of high technology. Like you mentioned already, Fiocruz, and we have at the moment projects running with Butantan. Cristal is also developing several new projects. So I would say we have in a good position at the moment.
And can we say that after COVID pandemic, the interest in biotechnology for biopharma has increased in Brazil?
Yes, I think so. The people could see that biotechnology gives you opportunity to develop, new vaccines or new methods much faster than used to do in the past. So,
because if you look to the past, we only see like Fiocruz and Butantan invested more in biopharma, to research new vaccines for new diseases. But today we are seeing that many private companies are coming with technology from outside Brazil to start to produce the vaccines here.
Yes, that's true. You have also FUNED in Ezequiel Dias in the Northeast, and you have in Belém also a part, the university that's developing also vaccines. But I would say that for biotechnology also something new appeared, a request that we never had before is the need to produce biological fertilizers. Instead of chemical fertilizers, use microbes to produce biological fertilizers. And therefore you need also bioreactors. And that is a market segment which is growing because there is from many organizations thinking of the environment questions about the excessive use of chemical fertilizers. So whatever you can substitute chemical by biological is for the environment much better. So you have a lot of companies, even startup companies, figuring out what they can produce in terms of fertilizers or soil, how do you call it, to products to improve the quality of soil also by bioreactor.
Great. Now, talking about the partnership between bioengineering and Dafratec, what did the partnership between bioengineering and Dafratec begin? So I think I have to ask this to Henri, because Henri started off all of this, introduced Dafratec to bioengineering.
Bioengineering was started in 72, and 14 years later, in 86, we at Fairport we at Micronal started representing bioengineering. I was a director at Micronal at that time, and I worked with bioengineering during several years until in 2005 I decided to retire from Micronal and opened my own company called Fairport. And Bioengineering was a company that I took with me as a representation. So since 2005, I have been working with Bioengineering by my company, Fairport. In 2005, we closed the deal with a huge installation at Fiocruz, and then other universities and Cristália and Butantan came all after that. And today, we are in 2026. I decided I will still work a few years with the company, but then give the company to my friend at Dafratec.
Great, thank you, Henri. Thank you very much. We very appreciate that. So, what made bioengineering decide to invest in the Brazilian market and together with Dafratec?
That's another good question. So I would say bioengineering, as I mentioned, had its focus for the past 20 years on the Asian market. Now that we are a daughter company of Morimatsu, this territory belongs to Morimatsu, let's say, and we will focus on USA and Europe. But there are also, let's say, markets that are not untouched, but Brazilian market, we see a big potential. We had good and large installed base, as Henri mentioned too. And we want to expand this, and we want to be closer to the customer and hope that together we can achieve this and win lots of more projects and make our customers happy.
And how important is the local technical support and application expertise today?
Oh, it's very important. So, I mean, yesterday was it yesterday? No, it was on Monday. We had a meeting at the customer site, and this was one of the points the customer mentioned, that a local office or a local partner is very important to them. So service time is critical. It's time critical. Sometimes MS Teams call, it can be sufficient. You can do a remote service, but if it needs to be escalated, then it's very relevant that the service technician can be on site quickly and solve the problem. So I think this is a very critical and important parameter.
And what are the next steps for the partnership in Brazil?
The next steps will be, I guess, next week. We will have a exhibition, the FC Pharma exhibition, where we will join together, or I will join you at the booth. I think you have a booth with 40 square meters.
Yeah.
You're gonna exhibit a few of your equipment, I assume, but maybe you can.
Yeah. Então, pessoal, já fica o convite para vocês, marquem na agenda, não deixem de visitar o stand da Dafratec, a feira FCE Farm e Cosmetic acontecerá no São Paulo Expo, né? É isso? São Paulo Expo, no dia 1, 2 e 3 de junho. Então, venha nos visitar, conhecer os nossos lançamentos, os nossos produtos. Teremos outros equipamentos também, não somente para a área de biotecnologia, mas caracterização de partículas, estabilidade de formulações, reômetros para pó e uma série de outros equipamentos que a Dafratec vem distribuindo no Brasil ao longo desses anos. And what motivates you most about working in this industry today?
So the situation that we have right now, I'm able to visit you guys in Brazil. I'm able to get to know people, to interact with people. I'm getting to know new cultures. Yesterday we were visiting customers that I didn't know before. We were interacting with them, and then went to a very good restaurant. So this was, let's say, a whole new experience for me, and I really appreciate that.
And did you like churrasco?
Very much. It was the best meat I have ever had in my life.
Okay, some bonus questions just for what has been the biggest professional challenge of your career?
Maybe you can ask this him because he has much more experience.
I think that the most difficult part is that you study something, you graduate in something, and then you start working doing something totally different. I'm an electrical engineer. I worked with high voltage equipment, and suddenly I found myself in a laboratory with balances and microscopes and spectrophotometers and so on, and ended up also with bioreactors. Totally different from being an electrical engineer working with high voltage. So that was definitely a very big step. That's the job that I was offered was not what I studied for.
Great. So thank you very much.
Yeah.
Então, pessoal, tivemos o prazer hoje de conversar com Daniele Serra e com Henri Berghs sobre o mercado de bioreatores, um pouquinho do mercado brasileiro. Agradecemos a todos e esperamos vocês para nos visitarem na Feira FCE Pharma no dia 1, 2 e 3 de junho, na próxima semana, no São Paulo Expo. Um abraço a todos.